Laurie, how you doing
Well,
this week?
I'm doing great. I almost forgot what you looked like.
Oh boy, hey, it's voting day. Doug Smith here from Ottawa, broadcasting from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, home of the Ottawa Senators. And I'm in Ontario, so it's voting day today. How are you doing, Laurie?
Oh, like, are you voting like for a new premier?
Yes, we are. Yeah, so people are gotta go out right after this show and,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
and cast my vote. And I'm just encouraging everybody else to get out there and cast their vote. But we're not a political show, but it's politics today, and we
We
were
can be
talking.
political. We can be, you know what? We can even be politically incorrect, Doug. You know?
Well, there's no politicians that are politically incorrect.
No, no.
We were talking earlier about the dressing room. I was mentioning, when
Yes.
I played in the NHL, there was always these people, like these players that got into a position of power, but there was a lot of jerks, and they used to just puff their chest and say a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and then the crazy stuff would filter away. And as a player, you had to find your spot. You couldn't spend your time worrying about the blowhard over there that's making all the disturbances and telling a whole bunch of lies, frankly, right? so
Right.
so I just trying to relate the whole trump thing to
Yes.
to the dressing room. and
Yeah.
and we all just got to go do our jobs. And so this is great. I love doing this is fantastic. And
Yeah.
you've been traveling, so what have you
Yeah.
been up to?
Oh my gosh, Doug, I had the most amazing thing happen to me. I'll just take a couple of minutes and share.
Yes.
But I've worked on and off reserves for almost 30 years. And the greatest honor that you can get in the Indigenous community is when they decide that you've done your duty, your due diligence, and they show that in a very kind of like the quilts of valor that they do for veterans,
Yes, yes.
Except this is a star quilt made by someone in a community, king size, and they took that quilt and they wrapped me in it like a cocoon, like you're inside this thing. And they sent me the picture of me after I was wrapped, and honestly, like I've got this look of fear on my face because
Show it.
I had a highly spiritual experience, and I thought, wow, now I need to really step up my game here because I
Wow.
just received the highest honor presented to me by our ombudsperson in Saskatoon because I just worked with her staff. I worked with her staff when she opened the office 2 years ago. She wanted to get everybody off on the same page. She's only lost two people in 2 years and replaced them, and then had me back this last week. So I was blown away. I couldn't. Can you imagine me being rendered speechless, Doug?
Oh my God, that's
I
incredible.
couldn't even talk.
We, you
I
know, we,
cried. I
we,
cried the whole time,
and
and I couldn't.
we want to feature, the the people who are doing these things, and the reactions and why they're doing these things, because you and I don't have much of a chance to talk about the why. And
No.
and people like Simon Sinek and Brian Tracy and these people, it's all about it's about the why. And so this is what 2025 is going to be for our show, is going to be, yes, athletes are going to be tied into it, but there's a bigger issue going on. There's a
Oh
much
yeah.
bigger issue. And what we find in the clinic, when I'm at the clinic 3 days a week, is that we show people the way to get better today, and we can talk about some of that stuff, but we show them clear scientific data that if you do this, that you're going to see improvement in these particular areas. And if the person says no, well, I'm not interested in that, or they don't come back, then that person is definitely qualified to need a self-worth program, because what he's saying, he or she is saying is, I don't believe I deserve to get better. And so that's what I see, the force in you being able to get people to understand that they're really worth something, that they're valuable on this planet. So that's how this is all relating to your work. It's core,
Yeah, it's basic.
basic but core, and it
Yeah.
should be basic if it's core, right?
Yeah. And as long as people are walking around going, I'm good, I'm okay, and your life doesn't reflect that.
Mhm.
That's what I look for. People say, I don't need anything. I'm good. I like my life. Really? Because then I can look at that and go, well, you haven't taken a hard look at your life, or you would be making different decisions.
And it is a measurement process with you. So at the clinic, what we do is we have a set of measurements for your
Yes.
neurology and then a set of treatments.
Wow.
And so you're doing the exact same thing. You have a set of measurements and
Absolutely.
you have a set of treatments. And it's not rocket science really, because everybody works the same sort of way, right?
Hmm. Yeah. We're all busy reacting to the setbacks
Hmm.
and the disabilities and what life delivered or what it
Hmm.
didn't deliver,
Hmm.
and where our priorities are all messed up. What we think is really important is not really what's important.
Yeah, and anxiety, this is what we're finding, and we're measuring everything, is that anxiety is coming from our physical reaction of getting older. Okay, so when you lose your balance or you get vertigo, you get anxiety. And when you get anxiety, that anxiety starts to tear at your mind.
Yes,
It doesn't know anywhere else to go. It just goes
that's
right to your
right.
central nervous system. And
I
this is what we're
know.
and we're seeing this, like we're
You can
literally
see it.
seeing. We can
Wow.
see it on the screen and see it in the data.
Oh,
And it's the same for every brain. It's the same for every person. So it's and yet you want to get this message out there, but how many people do you think, you've got the most experience in this space, what is the percentage of people out there that don't believe that they deserve their worth it?
oh, it would be pretty high. Like we're talking 80s, 90%. Even if, even if they're,
Really?
yes, even if they're rich, they're successful. I can look at a really successful person and tell you they have no self-worth, and I can name some names, but I can't do that on the show. You know, some people have the attitude, how much more do I have to do to prove I'm a good person?
Yeah,
And
okay.
they just keep giving and giving and get. That was me. I can identify with that because that was who I was.
Hmm. No,
Now I'm saying, okay, I'm going to volunteer some time on Thursdays to a certain community, people have had losses, setbacks, and it's not any specific community. It applies to all of us, right?
yes.
So I'm going to volunteer that time, and then I'm going to cut back on my shows by 15 minutes. So just to let people know today, you and I'll be done at quarter to the hour because I have to make up for that time. I only have so many hours in the day.
And we're gonna pack in, like,
Oh,
45 minutes. We'll pack
we
in
already
some
did
awesome
45
stuff.
minutes.
And the other thing is in that 15 minutes you're taking out of the hour that we were spending together. Can you imagine the stories that we're going to be able to hear from that?
Oh, yes.
You know,
Everybody wins.
yeah, it's
We might
phenomenal.
even have some of those people on our show
Yes, yes.
because athletes have losses. You know, somebody on welfare has lost. Everybody, you're not going to get out a year without them. But what happens is we take them personally, and then we think there's something wrong with us,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's what kills the self worth.
And as we age, look at the connection. As
Oh,
we age and all the frustrations of aging and all the worries about your kids and all that stuff gets piled on.
yeah,
And if you don't pay attention to this, if you're not paying attention to this, then you can get yourself in a real pickle,
yes,
right? All of a sudden, life and the way life works puts a stake in the ground and says, okay, that's it for you,
yeah,
right? And so, it's important for our audience that we let you guys know that there's ways that we can do this. For example, we do a bioimpedance exam, which measures the electrical, your body's ability to pump electrical current through it. So you put things on the toe, things on the fingers, you hit a switch, and it tells you all about the cell system and the inflammation in your body.
oh, amazing.
And then we put somebody on a balance machine that's cutting edge technology, and it tells them that they're standing 90% of the time, they're standing on their left front of their foot. And they got zero weight on their heels because they're falling forward. And from a chiropractic standpoint, you can show somebody why they're falling forward, and that fall is going to continue if you don't do something about it.
Exactly.
One day you'll be face first in the ground. You go, well, what happened to me? I seem to be able to walk okay. No. If you monitor this stuff, so the balance, and then we, after the person does their balance, we take them over to the most advanced cognitive building tool in the world, which is NeuroTracker. And we immerse their brain in a 3-dimensional cube that tracks balls inside the cube. And you have to track 4 out of 8 balls, but they're all the same color. Okay, so there's 8 tennis balls bouncing around in a cube, and they're all the same color. And then they stop, and you have to tell the person the 4 balls that were indicated before they started bouncing around. And so you have to say 4, 6, 8, and 1, and pick those balls. And now, if you get the answer right, the speed of the balls increases. If you get the answer wrong, the speed of the balls slow down. And so when you put somebody in front of this, they think they're doing amazing, but they're not even doing 1/10 of what they could do within 6 weeks of training. Okay, so I sit behind them and watch new people, because I'm tracking 10 times faster than them, and I'm 61 years old. Or with a 16-year-old kid, I'm tracking 5 times faster than them because they're good out of the gate. And then within 3 weeks, that kid will blow by me with respect to their brain speed, because their brain is so active. And when they're out on the street, things are moving quick, and they're running around and playing. And what do we do as we age? Well, we just slow down. And then our brain slows down.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get anxiety and frustration, and it causes us physical dilemmas. And all you have to do, this is a clear message. Again, University of Montreal, Dr. Jocelyn Faubert, we're using their technology. And once you do this, just for a few hours, we're seeing people that were slurring their words because of head injuries.
Mm-mm.
Not anymore.
Wow.
Not anymore. It's just one after the other. The way that we've got this set up is so cool. And we're actually not sharing our setup initially and what we're doing. We're just going to build what we have right now and then duplicate that facility.
Yeah.
And so we do all these measurements, and then we have the physical medicine doctors and the chiropractors to be able to take care of the other things like laser treatment. And then the biggest tool we have, and I want to share this, have a specific show on this technology, is PEMF technology, which is pulsing electromagnetic field technology. And what it is, it's like you sit on a chair that's electrified and sending electromagnetic waves, pulses through you. We have a big picture of Tesla on the wall, because what we do is, it's like you pull your Tesla, your body, into our facility. You go into this specific room. There's music playing, nice calm music. You can put a face mask on if you want, and you crank up the frequency and the pulsing waves, and the person literally just lays in there for 30 minutes. And I've got caught. People have caught me fast asleep in there, and what it's doing is it's pumping the fluid out of the cell system, so that your body can function better, because that's our biggest dilemma, is inflammation, right?
Absolutely.
So we're combating inflammation, and the physical fallout and the mental fallout from treating inflammation is staggering.
I believe it.
It's staggering, but a lot of people don't know how that whole system works. This is all relatively sort of an awakening that I think the healthcare system right now, I really do believe this, because of the doctors I'm speaking to, they're becoming open to it, because they know that there's a tsunami coming. And this
Yes,
is,
let's talk about that tsunami.
yes, this is the first time in human history, really. I mean, we didn't have doctors before, and then we had doctors, no problem, and they wanted to sign people up, and they're taking business courses. A doctor doesn't need to take a business course right now; just needs to hang a shingle, right?
Yeah.
And their business will be full. And I'm seeing it in the physical therapy world as well. Like it's incredible what I'm seeing. So yeah, what do you think about this, Laurie?
Introducing Veteran House Alliance International monthly 50/50 raffle. Purchase your ticket today, link on display, and have a chance to win cash and help a great platform supporting veterans.
Well, I just think it's amazing. I just think, look at this. We've got, look, the spirits are working here. We've got
Yeah.
interference. Well, I know that. And, years and years ago in Vancouver, I went to see a therapist, not a psychology therapist, but he was a therapist. And I sat in a big chair, and I'm wondering if it was the first stages of that technology. I went to him on a few occasions, and we sat in the chair, and we had a blindfold on, and there was lights, and there was music, and it was all working on everything. We're talking 30 years ago, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
And he was seen as some sort of witch doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because people were still buying into the conventional forms of medicine, which in Western medicine is, let's put the Band-Aid on it, let's treat the symptom, and never the why or the root cause.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we're the product of that. I mean, when I was a child, my mom would take me for a checkup at the doctor. I wasn't even sick, but we had our checkups.
Doctor smoking too?
Well, 400-pound doctor behind the desk smoking a cigarette in his office telling you that you needed to lose weight. And I'm going, really? No credibility in that for me. And as I got older, and that's with your clinic, you need your service providers really healthy, and it takes a lot of energy to help other people. So I make sure I recharge my batteries all the time, every day.
Yes.
I take time to recharge my batteries. And I think with life the way that it is right now, I know, life's very stressful right now because people are losing their homes, they're losing their jobs, money's tight, they don't know how they're going to buy groceries to feed their kids. Like, this is all very stressful.
Yeah, young people too. Like, you want to recruit
Yes.
young people in your clinic, and they can't really afford to buy a home, so they're scrambling. They spend all this money on education, and getting them functioning to the max and allowing them to see that they can actually do it and succeed at it. That is something that's missing in the workforce across the board right now. And staring at your phone and checking your messages and making yourself look busy doesn't count, right?
No.
And
Pay the bill.
Yeah, it doesn't pay the bills. And so being able to have the ability to work on somebody on the physical side of things, on the psychological side of things, on the consciousness side of things, and at the same time, we're going to be able to help so many more people. And if you're out there and you're listening to the show, or you're picking this up somewhere, we can do this work on the brain from anywhere. We've got clients in Eleuthera, Bahamas now. We're doing work all over the place. So getting plugged into something that's going to take the frustration out of your life because you're so frustrated with yourself, we can do it digitally. And you've got a book coming out that is a must read. Don't give them two choices yet, just one for now. Get people focused on that one. But I know you're prolific. You're a prolific writer, but this new book, let's talk about the new book that's coming out because it's so relevant.
Well, I'm also seeing, thank you for that opportunity, but I'm also seeing other people coming up with a similar type of book, like a self-care book, a self-help book. But the difference is mine's not intellectually driven, and the others that I've seen are, and the pages are very busy, and they look really pretty and all that. But in my book, the book is talking to you. So it would say, "Good morning, Doug." You open your page and happiness says, "Good morning."
Mm-hmm.
Today, look for the good. Look for the good in your life. Look for the good in your home. Look for the good in the universe, whatever. And then you do your activity. There's a message and the purpose of the exercise, the why you're doing the exercise. There's more than one purpose. There's a list. So this is what we're going to do. Here's the message. Here are your activities for today. Then you go to bed. Good evening. Happiness says, good evening. How was your day? And you get to reflect and answer questions. And I also have a happiness quotient where you can actually measure your level of happiness for that day. Everything from god awful down at the bottom of the barrel right up to bliss and everything in between.
This book is taking people through the days. It's holding their
Yes.
hand. It's holding their hand.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and when somebody doesn't say good morning to them, or good evening, and we at the clinic, it's like
A
I
must,
just
I'm
it's a
sure.
must. Yeah, but it's getting in the habit of it, right? And if you're working at home, you start to lose touch with that. So this is just a reminder, a friend.
Yeah, it's a friend. It becomes your friend.
Yeah.
And it was designed that way. And I'm excited about it because it's not just a great read. I mean, there's lots of good content in there, but you're working on yourself without even realizing it. And I was going through it all with our publisher and getting it all organized, and this is this and this is this, because I had it in a workbook format, and I've been delivering it for over 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a product that I would give somebody who was in a depression or something extra over and above what the work they were doing with me.
Okay.
And it's written at a grade 3 level. So let's put it in the hands of the struggling youth.
I love it.
Like teenagers love it. And I've had teenagers go through it. And it takes, now I saw the other day, somebody said it takes 28 days to create a habit. And so they wrote a book based on that. Well, first of all, it doesn't take 28 days, it takes 21 days. So you got to be careful what you're buying into. 21 days, change a habit, that's research based. We know that. So if I start feeling happy and I'm feeling happier, and then I get happier, after 21 days, you don't want to go back to that other place.
That makes total sense. So you're building on top of a daily routine delivered by a friend.
Yes.
And if you fight that, if you want to fight that friend, there's a deeper issue going on, probably.
Absolutely.
And so that opens the door. The book is the sharp edge of the wedge, but if they just put it on the shelf and don't use it, and their life doesn't reflect success, then there's some type of disconnect there. It's just written. Right. It's sort of written in stone, right?
Yeah. And you start asking yourself, even when my publisher was going through it herself, she went, oh, there's a good idea. Never thought of that. Should be doing that. So we cover addictions, nutrition. We talk about, being alone, isolation, loneliness, how to get out of that space.
Trauma.
So yeah, definitely. So there's 7 topics. So you spend your first 7 days in those topics in a light kind of way. Then we repeat the topics in the next 7 days, only there's more intense work. And then the last 7 days, same topics, just more intense work. So everything gets confirmed.
Can you crunch this down into a 2-day sort of workshop?
Well, I would crunch it down into a workshop and then they'd all take the book home.
Okay. And how long is the workshop, Laurie? How long do you see it?
Easy. We could do anything from an hour to 5 hours to 2 days to a week or whatever. But
as long as they plug in is the message, right? I mean, plug in to this at any stage, and for all the way from getting assessed physically to self-worth. Plug in at any stage because that's what it is, right? I mean, boom, boom. There's the start and the end. And then in between, there's going to be these waves, right? And some of the waves are going to be disruptive. And some of the waves are going to knock you off course. And you're going to have to crawl back or realize that this is something that's worthwhile and come back. So it's not the journey. Like most people think the journey from not being happy and successful and being happy and successful is the same for everybody. It's not. It's different for
No,
everybody.
it's totally different.
It's different. So stop.
That's
First
right.
thing is stop comparing,
That's
the
right.
experience you're going to have to somebody else's, and just get started. Just
Yeah.
stop working with this and
Mhm.
start working with this a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
And get them connected.
Yes.
Like there's like a short circuit there, it's cut off, So because we conventionally we're taught to solve all of our problems with our brain, which is very important, but it's a holistic approach to life. And regardless of what's going on around you, to be able to maintain that inner peace and not
Yes.
experience the anxiety that comes with certain situations, that's where we're leading it to, right? So it's an inexpensive way to start your journey if you haven't started already. And if you have started,
Yeah.
it only is going to make it better.
And the you can scale this. That's the cool thing about it. We've been talking about this a little bit, and we were talking about this before the show too, that you can scale this into the efficiency of an organization because of the large cost. Imagine if you're a business owner out there and you have people working for you, and one of them decides to leave. Imagine the cost of that, not being made aware of it, them getting angry at something that doesn't exist, whatever the cause may be. You should have something in between you as the leader of the business
Mm-hmm.
and your staff. And Laurie, that would be your work. That's my opinion, and that's where it fits, right, with an organization.
Yeah, well, that's where I was last week. That was a brand new organization 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in July. And they started with 11 people, and they brought me in right away to get all those 11 people on the same page. We called it teamwork makes the dream work. So then I pull from my resources and I plug in some of my stuff. And part of the package was they all will be getting a copy of the book. So that's follow up from their workshop.
Yeah, because then
Right.
they plug into their friend.
Yeah.
They're aware that they can get support beyond that with you.
Yeah.
Because you have a stream of workshops. You'll figure it out, right, with
Mm-hmm.
them. Hold their hand, make sure they're in the right program,
Mm-hmm.
right? And let the person, the people that are listening to this right now, make their own decision. And
Yes.
that's what it's about, making the decision, getting somebody, if you have a son or a daughter or a mother or a father or brother or sister, it's about getting them into a situation where they have to make the decision.
That's right.
You can't stop a person from turning on themselves.
No.
It's impossible for you to get in between somebody's head and somebody's body.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You might want to try, but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, and I think I don't have all the answers. I'm just a cog in the wheel, but there's many of us out there. You're out there. Dr. Vic is there. On the scientific side of things. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the people that you're helping right now, without mentioning names, but some of the clients that you're being inundated with right now.
Yeah, like on the professional athlete side, it's phenomenal. Like professional athletes that are involved, we're NHL players. We have a table tennis player, a girl. She's going to the Olympic trials in California. She's played table tennis since she was 3 years old, and her mother and father were table tennis instructors in India. And her name is Priyanka. Okay, I can say that. She'd be okay. She's given us plenty of testimonials, but we're gonna get her qualified for the Olympics, and that'll be amazing, right?
Yes.
Her brain speed is like, it's lighting up. She's beating people she never beat before. And so we're working with professional athletes. We have several motor vehicle accidents, and we're seeing this transformation in their brain. You know what? At school today, if you go to school, they're going to teach you that your neurology is what it is. It doesn't move, right?
Oh,
They still don't teach you that neurology, neuroplasticity exists, so that if you have a tremendously bad brain injury and you're in a coma for 3 months and you wake up, there's a path for your brain. If you've got a few neurons kicking around up there, they'll duplicate. And so people are coming out of school thinking that it's one way, and it's really not that way anymore. So that's going to change. And then so motor vehicle accidents, and then we have a really cool group of seniors. And we got a call from a seniors home that has a chain of homes, and they said, we need to get this. We need to do this. We need to give our patients the opportunity to extend their life, to tap into longevity, to slow down the destructive process, right?
Yes.
You just have to slow it down a bit. And so having those tools accessible to them digitally now, and being able to set something up where they can have maybe a game with, have a separate room in the place that it's just specifically for their brain. And you don't have to go in and be intimidated by the bench press and by the treadmill and by the bike. And it's not like that. Seniors need to understand that there's a solution out there that isn't painful.
Right.
We welcome you to advertise and promote your goods and services, and or brand your logo to 34 million subscribers on Canada Talks 167. Your investment will go towards our employment programs in the media industry for persons with disabilities and veterans.
It's pleasurable. And then what we're doing with the Brain Champ program is as soon as somebody comes into it, they're getting my meditations as well. So my meditation series is part of it. So we're tapping into meditation, which scientifically you'd be crazy not to. And then we're snapping in other movement processes. So once the person starts to move and understand that their movement affects their neurology, all of a sudden they move more. They do the brain work. They stop running, which, when you reach a certain age, that's going to cause you a world of pain. I mean, it's not that it's unhealthy, but at a certain point, you got to go, okay, I'm getting off that train. I did with hockey, right? I still could skate, but, I don't want to get hurt again. So there's a range of people we're helping. It's really cool. So, and if anybody wants to know more, my work at the clinic has been putting everything into order, because I just need to see things in order. So if you go to brainchamp.ca, right, brainchamp.ca, you'll enter into a new environment for healing, and we're focused on changing the healthcare system. We're friends with the people who own the companies who are developing the technology. Let's just put it that way. We know the university. We've been to the universities. We have their people at our clinic using the technology. When people see this technology, they want it in their home. It's just a little pricey right now, but if you could afford it, Yeah, I mean, there's people football players, the NFL football players now, most of them are using this technology, and they have it with them all the time. It's like it's one of their priorities. McCaffrey with the San Francisco 49ers is like it's more important than his toothbrush to have this technology, because it heals his body, right? It gets banged up during a game, and it heals him.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I can't wait to come to the clinic. I'm planning a trip that way. I'm working on getting out there your way.
Yes.
I've got other clients in Ottawa who want to host a book signing event for me.
Okay.
In Ottawa, and of course our friend in Niagara Falls, and yourself, of course. And so I'm thinking like road trip time.
Yeah,
fast up, my man, and let's go.
Let's plan it. Let's plan it and keep you busy.
Mhm.
Like if you came into Ottawa, like are you thinking about coming in and speaking at a few places or?
Oh, I could.
Yeah,
I mean, there's lots we could do. I have contacts there too, and yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, we could do something before the really nice weather comes and people want to go out on their boats, and fish all summer long.
Yeah, but you got to come down and I'll take you out on the boat. Did you see that? Did you see that 9-pound pickerel I caught
I
at the end of the
did. I
season?
did. Oh my goodness.
You gotta, if you're coming to Ottawa, like we'll definitely end up on the river because right now you have to go on the river,
Yes, of
or,
course.
or we'll end up in the river.
In the
Okay,
river.
what one
That's
or the
right.
other. Okay, we'll do
Exactly.
that for sure. And
Yeah.
and so marrying the chain together, and then what the plan is to have a quarterly education program that goes out digitally and people can come to live, where we'd invite people like the head of the neuroscience department at a university who I'm very familiar with these people, and or the head of an institution to come and to explain like how we fit into solving the bigger problem, because most people right now, they're busy with their work. If they're not in this industry, they can't see what's happening.
No.
Even the people who are coming out of school, and they can't see what's happening. They're impatient. The young people, they jump around, and you don't need to do that right now. You have to find a home where people care about you and stick it out and help anybody that needs help, including the people that are in the clinic with you.
That's right. That's right.
It's not a war. Nobody's like thinking you're bad. It doesn't
No.
matter, like if somebody doesn't say hi to you in the morning, it doesn't mean they're mad at you. You know what I mean? It's just all that stuff doesn't matter. And I think in the workforce, when we get stressed at home, and when we have stress in our life, we bring it to the office, correct?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
How do you not? I know I feel it. I give myself a,
Hmm.
at the clinic.
Well, even when I was teaching school and I was young and I was married, if I had a fight with my husband the night before, the next day, guess who my victims were? My
Oh,
students. I yelled
oh,
more. I wasn't as patient. I didn't put, right?
oh, yeah.
But
Life wasn't in check.
right. And I didn't put those two things together for a long time because I didn't
Wow.
realize I was carrying that resentment or regret or anger into my
Yeah.
workplace. My little kids, they were my victims. And if I could go back and do that over again, it'd be a totally different picture.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the audience. I'm going to ask the audience something, because an explosive subject. But what I'm looking for right now, what we're positioned to do, and I'll put this out there to the world, is um, we're setting up a research study, and we're going to leverage the absolute crap out of AI. Okay, so we're going to take all the measurements that we're doing and we're going to get them set up. So if there's anybody out there that wants to be involved in that project, who understands and has a clear understanding of how that would work, that's one of the pieces that we're looking for now, and that I'm talking to people about. Combining neuroscience and artificial intelligence is a critical move right now, because artificial intelligence, once it gets consciousness, we don't know what could happen to it. And neuroscience is studying physical, psychological, and consciousness. And it's neuroscience that's going to be able to tell the world when we have to worry about artificial intelligence having a negative impact on us.
Hmm.
Without consciousness, okay, because it's a separate piece of anatomy. I want
Right.
everybody listen. It's a separate piece of anatomy. Without consciousness, it's not a threat.
That's right.
It doesn't have that band that holds its physical together with its psychological. It can't organize itself. It needs to be organized by external forces.
The Disability Channel would like to thank our existing sponsors. We really appreciate the support and kindness from the BIAs across the GTA, Ontario, Canada, and our friends in the USA. We love making new friends. Thank you for supporting our existing employment programs.
Until it develops consciousness. And so we want to educate people with this education series we're going to put together on the highest level of how the brain functions, because we now know, and it's not a debate anymore. You can call me in debate if you want. I'll let you talk. The brain comes first. The brain leads the body, and the brain heals the body. And the brain doesn't know the difference between leading and healing and performance. It has no idea. You know what the only thing the brain wants is, Laurie? It wants one thing, and it's not sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The first thing it wants, is it wants to get better.
Right.
It'll wipe everything out of the way if you'll allow it a path to get better. And it doesn't mean you've got to achieve to be the best, but just don't have a plan that is the opposite of that, where your brain is getting worse. Because there's no, I promise you, there's no inertia. So if you don't know if your brain is getting better or worse, then the odds are it's getting worse, I'm sorry to say. And so if we can all take responsibility for the healthcare system, when I'm talking about this, if we can all take responsibility for ourselves from that perspective, from the neurological perspective. I'm not saying change overnight and don't go to your family physician. If you have one, great, stick it out and get your tests done and all that stuff. You got to do all that stuff. But have this component as your haven, because it will allow you to do what the doctors can't do for you. They don't have time in a 6-minute cycle other than to write you a prescription or tell you that what you're talking about is airy-fairy.
Right. Well, how about this? I'm going to be the devil's advocate here now.
Okay.
You know, a lot of, and I'll just put this out there. A lot of people, there might be a connection for us and there may not, but a lot of people say to me, I just want to be a better person. Better. It's like a judgment call. And I'll say, you know what? You're already amazing. You don't need to get better, but maybe you need to become more effective.
Oh, so your brain wants to become more effective.
More effective.
Wow, wow.
Is that a breakthrough for you?
That's piling on positivity there.
Well, because then my brain, wants to be more effective. Well, when my brain is more effective, I'll make better decisions.
Wow. And that's a better way to say it to the client, because it's a better way of communicating, because it goes it goes somewhere. It goes somewhere.
Oh yeah, and that's your gift. That's all I'm giving you.
Your brain wants, hey, listen, look, give me a sec. I got to write this in. Be more effective.
See, we're already terrific. We don't have to get better. We have to become more effective. A more effective parent, a more effective partner, not a better partner or a better parent, because the word better, good, better, best, those are judgment words, and I don't like them.
Holy cow. Now I've got to change my programming again.
Oh, wow.
I just got my programming down. When I meet somebody, I go, no, your brain doesn't want to get, it just wants to get better. And now I got to go, your brain wants to be more effective. And that prompts questions. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Because we are by nature lifelong learners, curious. We have that capacity, and potential isn't worth anything if it's not developed.
Yes.
You can't go to the bank and get a loan on potential.
Yeah. Well, potential's unlimited, but it's unpredictable. So it's a swear word for me, the word potential. I know we only got a minute, but we can talk more about potential on the next show. But
okay,
I try to stay away from it. Now I want to get your thoughts on this. If it's unlimited and unpredictable, what do you do with it?
you have to manage it. You have to train it. You
Okay.
have to discipline it.
Discipline potential. Holy cow, another one. Does that you can establish that you can discipline your potential?
Absolutely, because that's going to be in the book, 21 Days to Happiness, Joy, and Inner Peace. That's the whole plan, to harness your potential. But most people are walking around not believing they have any.
But harnessing, that's not a nice thing. Things you really you think it should be harnessed, or should it be no, but discipline or harness, which one? You got to pick one.
Doesn't matter.
Harness,
People
discipline.
don't like discipline either, but I'll say take responsibility for your potential.
Okay, responsibility. That
we all have potential. I
that
know
last 15 minutes, people were going to get gold. It's 45 minutes. We got to stick to the new schedule.
Yeah, well, I'll keep you hanging so you come back next week.
Well, it's been just a fabulous conversation, and we'll hear from Jay Stoyan in the Disability Channel and the Invictus Games, because it was a panic. I can't wait to bring him on next week, and look forward to seeing you then, Laurie. Wonderful talking to you.
Okay, Doug. Thank you for my my time with you. It's always so valuable.
And go to brainchamp.ca.
Yes,
okay, anybody that's listening, just visit the site. Check it out, follow the yellow brick road. And if you have questions, just I'll see it, because I'm in charge of the forums right now. So if you send me a note, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Whatever they believe, they take what they can.